welcome to another episode of Sheena's Perfect Bite. I show people how to make low glycemic meals, whether you have diabetes or PCOS like myself. Today I'm going to show you how to make a low glycemic lemon, chicken, and barley soup. It's going to be delicious. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is cook our barley. The soup is going to kind of be like a deconstructed soup. Everything is cooked separately, and then we're going to piece the pieces together in the broth later. So the first thing we need to do is cook our barley. It'll take about 45 minutes. If you want a lesser cooking time, you can soak the barley beforehand for a few hours. But you definitely want to rinse it. Just put it in a strainer, rinse it with some warm water. And I have about a cup here. Now a cup is going to make a lot of barley. Our soup is going to use about 8 cups of broth. So 1 cup of barley is definitely going to be enough. Now I'm going to put this into some boiling salted water. You can also cook it in stock if you'd like as well, because it will take on that flavor. But because we're going to put it in the chicken broth later that we homemade, then it'll all taste really good that way. So go ahead and put your 1 cup into the water. And boil that for about 45 minutes like I said. And in the meantime, we're going to chop up our veggies and start the other parts of the soup. All right, while your barley is bubbling away, we're going to saute up the veggies for the soup portion. So first, let's start with about a tablespoon or less of grapeseed oil. Remember, we're not cooking with olive oil anymore. It doesn't do well at high temperatures, but grapeseed oil does. So a little bit of grapeseed oil. And then we have 1 whole onion. Medium size is fine. Red onion, white onion, really whatever you want. And about 3 stalks of chopped up celery. Now, of course, it's always better to use organic, so try and get organic. Now we're going to want to soften this up just a little bit before we add our garlic. We don't want our garlic to burn. When garlic burns, it gets really bitter. So soften up these veggies for a little bit. One way to help do that actually is to add a little bit of salt. The salt draws out the water from the veggies, so that'll help cook them a little bit faster. So 2 pinches of salt, a pinch of pepper. We'll soften these up and then I'll add the garlic. All right, our onion and celery have softened up just a little bit. I don't know if you can really see that, but now we're going to add our garlic. Now we're going to add 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to show you guys a little trick so that you don't have to sit there and chop up your garlic super, super tiny. You get a little microplane or mini grater and you just grate your garlic into your soup. Keep out or look out for your fingers though, because you don't want to grate your finger into the soup. And just toss the little butt of the garlic. Now I'm going to put 3 cloves of garlic in my soup. You can use less if you don't like garlic as much, or more if you like garlic. There we go. This makes it really, really easy, and it gets it, nice and small so that you're not having to sit there and chop it all up. Now we're going to cook the garlic for a good 30 seconds or so, and then we'll add the chicken stock. Okay, our veggies have softened up, so now we're going to add the chicken stock. Now this is chicken stock that we homemade. I do have a video on that, so I'll give you a link for that, so you can watch how to make your own homemade chicken stock. So 8 cups, it may take a little bit more, but let's start with 8 cups. Pour that right in. All right, now we're gonna wanna bring this up to a boil. So you can turn your heat medium to medium high and bring this up to a boil, and then we'll do the next process. Okay, our stock is warmed up and we brought it to a boil. Now we're gonna add the barley and the chicken separately. The reason I wanted you to cook the barley separate than the soup, because you could cook it in there, but it's going to soak up a lot of that liquid, so you're going to be left with less soup liquid, and also it kind of leaves a really gummy and thick type texture to the broth, to the liquid. So I like cooking it separately and then adding it to your soup now. So we're gonna take our 1 cup of barley. This is what it looks like puffed up, and it's gonna puff up even more because it's gonna cook a little bit more in the soup. So see how much barley that made just off that 1 cup? Okay, so stir that in. Now, what I did is I just went and bought an already roasted chicken. I just shredded it up, took off the skin and shredded up the chicken part of it. Now you can roast your own chicken if you want. I do also have a video of how to roast a chicken, so I'll put a link for that. But you can also purchase these already roasted from like Whole Foods or Sprouts, even all natural organic chickens pre-roasted, and it makes it a lot easier for you. So this is technically 2 roasted chickens. I don't know if our soup will take that much, so we'll see here. You can just add it to the soup. And just kind of judge. Put some in, stir it up, see if it's a good thickness that you like, because again, the barley is going to thicken up a little bit more. That looks pretty good to me. So I'll add a little bit more. And then save this for, you know, chicken quesadillas, a chicken sandwich on Ezekiel bread, or whatever you'd like it for. So just put that away. Now we're gonna heat this up so that the chicken heats through, the barley thickens up a little bit more, plumps up a little bit more, and then at the very end we're gonna add our lemon and taste it if it needs salt, pepper, etc. So I'll bring this up to temperature and then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, the soup is heated all the way through. The barley is puffed up a little bit more and thickened up the soup. Chicken's hot all the way as well. So let's taste it and see if we need to add anything else to it. I think it needs a little bit more salt. When I make the chicken stock, I don't put any salt in it, so I can salt it when I'm making my other soups. That way I can control the salt level a little bit better. Definitely need some pepper, so I'm going to add that as well. Okay, time to add the lemon. Now, depending on how juicy the lemons are, you'll need 1 to 2 lemons for this. And the reason you add the juice at the end is because you want the lemon to taste fresh and bright. You don't want it to cook into the soup. So before I add the lemon, I just zested it. You take a little zester, grater, microplane, and you just run it along there and you zest it all off. Now you don't want to get the white parts in the zest. You just want the yellow rind because the white part can be bitter. And it's always better to use an organic lemon if you're going to use the zest at all. So now another trick is to, on the cutting board, roll the lemon with a lot of force. This will help release the juices inside. So just roll it, cut it in half. You're going to juice it through your hand to catch all the seeds. Okay. Get the other half. Okay. Stir that in there. Taste that as well. I would definitely add a second lemon. That wasn't very juicy. All right. Let's taste it, make sure it has enough lemon. I think that's really good for myself. I like a lot of lemon, so you can also serve this with some slices of lemon on the side. That's fine. I'm going to show you how to plate it up Get a little bowl. Get all that barley, chicken, celery, onions. Ladle it right into your bowl. Now we're going to take a little bit of parsley. Just kind of set it right there in the middle. And sprinkle a little lemon zest on top. You want people to know what's in the soup. So if you want to zoom in on that a little bit, you can see how pretty that looks with the little ribbons of lemon zest and the parsley on top. Now let's take a bite of it all together. It's really hot. Really bright lemon flavor, and the barley gives it a really nice texture. And because barley is good for you, it's low glycemic. Having it in soups really helps kind of take the place of pastas and different things like that. The chicken is nice and moist. The stock is really good because of course you made it yourself. So I think this is a really yummy soup. Try it for yourself and enjoy.